Bring it back.
Hi guys, what's going on? I'm EvoLoz and we are back with another episode of Oriental Empires. So it has been a while since we've carried on with our Let's Play series on Oriental Empires. If you remember last time we had a rebellion from our city of Zhu up to the north. Unfortunately, our enemy, the White D, or sort of neutral enemy, quickly moved down and laid siege to the city and are doing quite a good job of attacking the inhabitants. Now my worry is these people, the White D, are actually going to beat them and capture Zhu, which is not what I want. So I have my army stationed outside the city to the north. Everyone is in pretty good health. So if the enemy army here actually succeeds in taking the city, we are going to immediately declare war on them and capture it back, since it really is our city anyway. Apart from that, we have got all of our cities we are either building or in the process of doing something. We've got a bit of money, so if I remember rightly, I wanted to build some walls at AO. Why can't I build that? It requires a palace to be able to build rammed earth walls. Well, I don't really want the £40 a month investment associated with the palace, so we probably won't bother there. Instead, we should probably invest the money in building the walls, rammed earth walls at our capital. So if we start construction on that, anywhere that's not building, like Bow, can continue with farming, or if there's no farms available, they can clear some forest land to make room for farms. Let's quickly check the technology and cultures tab. Yep, everything seems to be going along. We are researching new walls at the moment. We'll have high earth walls shortly, which should be able to upgrade on our capital to make it even stronger. So that's all good. I don't think there's any edicts that I currently wish to issue. Let's have a quick look through them. And that could be useful. So this creates noble unrest for plus 25% for 20 turns. We can't actually afford this edict at the moment, but it permanently reduces peasant unrest and increases authority. So that could be worth doing. We could also do that. A few of these could be worth investing in. Well-field system. It creates peasant unrest plus 10% for 10 turns, and it creates permanent increase in peasant unrest. But decreases noble unrest. Well, at the moment, most of our unrest is associated around. Wow! So I've just seen the cost per turn of issuing that edict. It costs 500 per turn. Wow. Well, that's certainly not worth doing. So we can have a look at them. There could be some options going forwards. But for now, I think we'll end this turn and see what happens with the siege over at Zhu, since this is our main problem to deal with. So the enemy are moving into the city again, trying to storm the walls. It's got it on fast forward. Our army can do nothing. The enemy archers shooting down the walls. Hopefully it's not my troops that are getting shot at by the arrows. They're starting to take a fair amount of casualties now, the enemy White D army. I'm hoping they're going to take sufficient casualties to stop them being able to realistically take the city. And then they might have weakened the enemy army enough that it'll be easy for me to seize it. That's my hope anyway. We're getting a little bit of gold from loot from being around the farms. Although when we retake the city, these are all farms we're going to have to rebuild, so it's not that beneficial really to us. I don't know if I've shown you previously. Obviously, it's been a while since we last did the series, so a few things have been updated in the game. We've now got little unit icons for the different garrisoning armies, so you sort of know what units you got rare, rather than just saying there are some units garrisoned here. Let's have a look how our walls are getting on at the capital. 5 more turns to build our rammed earth walls. That's not too bad. Growth is pretty stagnant at the moment. We're not really getting anywhere with growth. But there's nothing we can do about that for the moment. And the rest of the cities are either clearing or still building farms, which is what we want. Let's have a quick look at our financial summary. We're making a good income per turn, 244 per turn, which is excellent, what we want to see. And there's nothing else really to look at the moment. So, straight into the next turn. Until we resolve the situation with the siege, there's not a lot we can do. Worryingly, oops, slightly lagging out. The enemy are bringing in reinforcements, which could be a problem. Oh, I think they brought up some artillery there. Oh no, chariots. But they're still not winning this siege, which is unfortunate. Or fortunate, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, so they've brought some more units, some trained archers, although they're still largely stocked by units like tribal light spearmen. Some more chariots, that's the general over there. So nothing to worry about too much. We could just declare war straight on them. We receive 41 per turn from exports from this faction. I wonder if we can ask them to go away. Information, no. Agreements, no. I want you to go away and stop attacking my city, basically. They're my rebels, not yours. So we've built quite a range of farms that turn, so let's have a look around at our different cities. So AO wants to build more farmland. AO is now our biggest city, almost 100 population. It's getting pretty big there. So we've got more area to convert to farmland there. Jiang and Jing can still be converted to irrigated farmland because it's near the river. No technologies finished that turn, just farms. So smash straight into the next turn. So again, oops. Just to see if anything exciting happens with the siege. It's turning into a pretty drawn out battle. Neither side really seems to be claiming any great advantage. But the problem is if they keep producing units and bringing them in, ultimately they're going to win because the besieged people cannot produce any units. Clearance at bow. So that should now be able to accommodate a farm. I don't think there's anything else to build here. That would benefit from building. No, not really. So let's go back to farming and build a farm there. AO. All these places should have things like potteries already built. Jiang, has that got a pottery? Silk Weaver, yes, there's already a pottery there. I could build a bazaar, but considering it doesn't really trade very much, there seems little benefit to doing that. Yes, we could build a pottery workshop at Jing, so we might as well invest in that. That only is going to provide an increase in trade. So we'll turn off the farm for the moment and get that constructing building. Other than that, not a lot to do this turn. Technologies, we've still got a few more turns. 2 more turns on both of them. So they're going to not be happening next turn either. So let's go straight into the next turn. So they brought in fresh units to try and deal with the siege. Although they still haven't successfully taken it yet. I don't know if it's going to allow me to actually besiege this place, probably not, but we'll have a go, maybe it'll let me do it this turn. A couple of farms have been built, one at AO. AO is now getting pretty massive, we've started to colonise quite a large amount of space now. Jiang is still growing, we'll build more irrigated farmland over there at the back, and the rest of the places are currently building buildings. Yin should be getting on well with the walls. Yes, 2 more turns to the walls. I'm curious to see what these are going to look like, particularly it's such a large city. Let's go straight into the next turn. See if my people are capable of actually doing this siege as well. No, it just looks like it's just the White D who get to do it because they were here first, which is unfortunate. Oh, now am I getting a go now? Yes. My archers are having a go at the walls, my trained archers. Just thought, considering we've got quite a few, we should take the walls down pretty quickly. Send in our sort of relatively professional heavy infantry, which should be far superior to the tribal light spearmen. Better shields, better armour, which they are kind of successful at. I don't know if that's us having defeated the city. It would be nice if we have. Let's go to fast forward, see if our troops are going to move into the city. Which they are. Ah, we may have done it. Which is a spot of luck. Excellent. Okay, so we have recaptured. So if we just have a look at the battle report for that, they only had 94 men remaining, of which we killed them all and we only lost 25, so that's not too bad. No experience gained. So that should be the Yellow Turbans crushed. The rebellion has been crushed. Good. Darn rebels. So we've gained some authority of that. Increased authority, which is good. 2 technologies have finished, and our city has been recaptured. So let's have a look if there's anything we can do with it. I think we might as well keep the settlement. I'm tempted to could sack it to kill it, or I could just completely destroy the settlement. But for now, I don't think there's anything point in doing that, so we're just going to occupy the settlement, since it was traditionally one of my cities anyway. So we'll pop back out of this menu. So our heavy spearmen, where we're going to send these, or we could garrison these in here as well, if the city can accommodate a larger garrison, or it may well be full. We shall see next turn. If not, we're going to have to take a bit of time for these units to get back up to health anyway. We also need to look at the technologies tab at some point. So let's just go into the city. Because of the thing, obviously, of course, we've got turmoil for 2 turns, so we can't do anything. But then we're going to have to work to rebuild the farms, because I suspect there's going to be a bit of a food shortage. But this should be quite a good trading city. And then maybe going forwards, we may want to look at just flattening Zhongshan to the north. We can only deal with so many cities, and we've got quite a few clustered around here. I'm more worried about threats from people like the Han to the south. And I'm just noticing that the Han have got some chariots dangerously venturing into our territory. We have somewhat of a garrison at AO to the south, so I'm not too worried about them at the moment. Okay, let's quickly flick into the technology tab. So in terms of military technology, obviously we are now in the Warring States era. So we can military shooting galleries. So while a city wall makes it difficult for an enemy attack, to breach scale initiative build structures to rain down fire on those approaching the wall. Raining down fire does sound pretty preferable. Okay, let's do that. Let's rain down some fire. And then we've also got the knowledge technology. So we've got, we can either do the final one in the early Bronze Age, or we can look at the ones in the Warring States era. So basically it's pitch, but it takes 33 turns to unlock, which is quite a long time, whereas some of the things like cavalry crossbows, crossbow makers, star charts, we've not got any ships yet, so that's not a particularly relevant one. Increases the rate of army readiness recovery, or a higher healing rate. Well, I think we'll do a readiness, that sounds useful. We often do quite a lot of marching around, so getting ready in time is probably a useful feature. We'll chop down more forest at bow, and then we'll pop to Zhu, obviously, which we've got nothing to do. Yin should be 1 turn away from the walls, which it is, and Jing probably about 1 turn away from the pottery. Excellent. Let's hop straight into the next turn. Though the White D should really be returning to home, not venturing further into my territory. To see what they're up to. So we've finished our round earth walls, so let's zoom in and have a look at these. Oh, they're like sort of proper walls now. Okay, that's interesting. That looks nice. So our capital is now probably very much more secure, which is good, what we want to see. I was going to have a quick look at how many population we need to upgrade the city again. I think it's 100. It is 100, so we've still got 8 more to get before we can actually upgrade the city. Obviously we can now look at doing a high earth wall, which only gatehouse and defensive towers can be burnt, which is good. Harder to breach, only the most determined and well organised enemies can do it, and it's only 1500, so in a couple of turns we can probably afford that, so that could be well worth an investment. So we also finished our pottery workshop at Jing. So let's go back to the farming options and build on another farm at Ao. Zhu is still in turmoil, obviously, as I forget every time. And let's build some more farmland down at Jing, which is all excellent. We'll We've got our garrison. Did these military units down here move in? No. So Zhu is obviously full by the sounds of it. I'm going to move these troops a little bit further south just to see what these troops here are doing. They really shouldn't be in my territory. I'd rather they sort of got lost and went away. So, oh, there's not a farm being built at Yin. Let's quickly do that. And then let's go to the next turn. Yeah. These enemy troops are worrying. I don't know why they're coming so far down into my territory. They really shouldn't be here. It's going to make it harder to declare war on Zhongshan when they've got troops sort of dotted around my territory. Much like the Han are venturing a bit too far north down here as well. So now Zhu is back into the fold. Our turn income is getting pretty high. Although it is suffering population loss because of the massive lack of farms. So it's producing 146 per turn. I'm pending a lot on the garrison, but obviously we're spending that on the garrison already. Where's most of the income from? Taxes, and a little bit from external trading, ceramics and that sort of thing. So we'll focus most of the effort on building farms since it's having a food shortage and leave them to it. The garrison is recovering. These troops are just sort of keeping an eye on the White D troops down here. These will perhaps follow them down to shadow them if they try and attack one of my cities. Technology wise, everything is still in check, which is good. There's something else I wanted to do, which I can't remember. Not technology. Ah, yes, we've now got enough money to build the walls at Yin. So let's hop on this and start construction on some very high earth walls. And then we'll space to build buildings. So high earth wall, get that off building. They're building more farms. Everyone else is building a farm, so nothing to worry about there. So straight into the next turn. Yeah, see these troops are still moving down here, and they're going to hop across the river here by the looks of it. I'm not quite sure why they are doing that, but there we go, I guess. The Han has still got their noble chariot warriors down here, but they're mostly keeping to their side of the river, so there's nothing to worry about too much. So there is a fire at Yangcheng, which is the enemy capital, or not capital, enemy city, which is good. We've finished 3 farms, a clearance and another farm, so we've got a lot to build. So Bo has converted to farmland. Ao has now reached a city population of 100, so once we've got the money we can afford this settlement upgrade, so we'll just invest in another farmland and start to save up. We can start to build some terraces over at Zhang. Shu is still building the farm, and Jing has got room for another farm, which we will convert to irrigated farmland. It says there's some damaged buildings here. I don't think that seems likely. Okay, I think I was probably talking about the city we took to the north. Okay. I think that'll probably do for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Things are starting to get a little bit back in line. Obviously, I was pretty annoyed when we lost Zhu to the Yellow Turban Rebels. That caused us quite a few problems. And it was particularly annoying that the White D then tried to take that city from me, considering it was my city really to start with. But we have now retaken that, and it's sort of put us back into a dominant power and giving us a very solid monthly turn income. So next sort of episode, we're going to be looking to consolidate our army. If these people aren't a particular threat, or the Han aren't looking to do anything, then I think we may go to war with the White D and look to just flatten Zhongshan. I could take the city, but I think given that you obviously can only have so many cities with your authority, because my authority is 12, I don't need another random city to the north, so I would rather flatten it and look to be attacking the Han cities down to the south. Because if I want to sort of really destroy the Han, when I take one of their cities, we're going to have to take one and have it as like a base of operations. So I think that's going to be the primary objective. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Thanks guys, and I shall see you on the next one.